All right, good morning, folks. Welcome to class today. We're going to jump into the warm up. So, if you don't already have your warm up sheet out, let's get that out. I'm going to give you a chance to get started on these. Make sure you're using the pause button as often as you need to so that you can pause this video and do your work on your own. I want you working hard so that this isn't wasted time while I'm out. In this particular question here, it's asking for which one is steeper. So it's asking really for us to compare what? It's asking us to compare our slopes. The only way we know which one is steeper is which one has the larger slope. So I'm going to start with the one on the right because that's super easy. The slope here is already given to us because our equation's already in y equals mx plus b. So our slope is 2. On the left, not quite so easy because we have to convert this equation into y equals mx plus b form. The only way we can do that is to start by subtracting the 3x over. So if I subtract 3x over, my new equation is 6y equals negative 3x plus 10. From there, we're then going to get rid of that 6 by dividing by 6 on both sides. So hopefully you'll start to see that if we divide by 6 on both sides, our slope's right there, but we need to simplify that. So our slope, if we simplify there, would end up being m equals negative 1/2. So between these two slopes, positive 2 and negative 1/2, which of those is the steeper? I'm hoping you'll recognize that the steeper slope is by far positive 2. Basically, the bigger the integer, the steeper the slope is. All right, let's jump next into another slope question, but this one's an application problem. So if you look at this one, we're talking about John's business. He made $4,500 in April. He made $8,600 in August. So I'm going to highlight these here: 4,500 in April, and then 8,600 in August. Since it's asking for a rate of change, really what you need to start doing is thinking of these two data points as actual points. So to think of April in 4,500, remember X is time. So my April is going to be my time. Well, what month is that of the year? Oh, that's the fourth month of the year. So I'm going to write that as 4, comma, 4,500. So that's my first coordinate. But you write that as a coordinate. So think about that for a second. What would my second coordinate be if it was August and I made $8,600? Hopefully you'll see pretty quickly that it's going to be 8, comma, 8,600. Okay? So those are your 2 points. From there, you should be able to find your rate of change without too much difficulty. It's not actually that hard. I'll let you do that on your own. Okay. Number 3, wanted to go over number 3 because number 3, if we want to solve this, we start out pretty easy. Just distribute that. We're left with 5m plus 10 equals 5m minus 4. So now I'm going to get the m's to one side. So if I get the m's to one side, I'm going to subtract 5m from both sides. Subtract 5m. And what do we notice happens when we subtract 5m from both sides? They both cancel out. So what is it that we're then left with? If we're left with a positive 10 equals a negative 4. And we know that that is not the case, that's not allowed. So if that's not a true statement, then what's our actual answer? Our answer is no solution. Okay? Last but not least, here we're going to have to look at how we evaluate these functions. And this is something that I want us to keep practicing because we did this on our quiz, but it's been a little while since we did so. So let's think about f of 2. What that really means is I'm going to take this number 2 and I'm going to plug that number in for x. So that would be, if we simplify here, something squared plus 1. What is that something? That something would just be 2. So 2 squared is 2 times 2, which is 4. 4 plus 1 equals 5. So we know that f of 2 is 5. Let's do the same thing over here on the right-hand side, okay? Except this time, ignore the 3 and just find f of negative 1. So f of negative 1 will be something squared plus 1. We're going to plug in that something this time is negative 1. Negative 1 squared is positive 1 plus 1. So that's 2. Okay? So now bring it all back together. If you bring it all back together, my actual equation is going to be, because notice we're asking you to add them. So it's going to be the green 5 plus this 3 times who? 3 times this 2 right here. So now we need to do multiplication before addition. So if we multiply first, that gives me 6. So now 5 plus 6 equals 11. There's your final answer. And there we go. The warm-up is good to go.